What is going on, everybody? It's Jew coming to you with another comic book review. And before I get started, yes, that's what I do is comic book reviews, trailer reactions, film reactions, podcasting, any collaborations, anything recommended. Leave that down below. If you're new to the channel, hit that like, subscribe, follow, and leave a comment below as well. Yeah, so this weekend, well, I read these over the weekend, so I'm a little bit lazy and I'm a little bit slacking. I should have been already had these done. I read them. I just didn't do a review on them like I would normally do. It's a lot of slacking, a lot of working, holidays and stuff like that. Anyways, let me go ahead and get into it without too much being said. So I read American Heroes, all the real American Heroes. G.I. Joe, by the way, is with Image Comics, and this is a pretty decent read. This is issue 301. So yeah, GI Joe is with the Image Comics. They were on IDW along with Transformers as well. Uh, this one is a pretty fun read. It's not too bad. It's actually better read than watching the cartoon, to be honest with you. I grew up watching the cartoon. I guess they made it more of a deeper. It seems a little more deeper and more serious in a book, more adult like. It's not violent, like overly violent or a bunch of bloodshed and a bunch of cussing, not like that, but just seems more the animated series was more pushed for the kids. Although I grew up watching GI Joe, Transformers, and all the stuff from Hasbro's. This one is it's pretty fun. There's like a little war zone going on here. They're Serpentor. I guess it's some of the villains are being shown in here, so they have no hide from that. Duke, as well as obviously the main character, he's in the whole situation. They're having this battle on the waterfront, and it's basically just a whole bunch of action going on. I mean, that's what GI Joe is. It's full action between the Cobra Commanders, Cobra Commander, and Serpentor, and Baronis and stuff like that. There's just a lot of chaos and beef. That's pretty much the animated series as well. I mean, I can't even take that away from what I'm reading here. From that, that's basically what's going on. It's more situational than I don't know. I can't say continuing story because this is issue 301. I have not been reading them, but when I saw it, I had to go ahead and get it. So it's a fun read. It even has Snake Eyes in it at one point. There's a lot of cameos with the characters. So they're treating it as almost like it's a new season, issue 1, but they're going to call it 301 because it's 301 rather than call it the first series of the volume. So you got Cobra Commander, Serpentor, Snake Eyes. I don't recall seeing Storm Shadow or anything like that show up in this. At the end of the book, it actually shows give me a rundown of the characters. Because I had to have a recap too. I'm more of a Transformers guy than a G.I. Joe guy, but I did watch the movies as well when they came out. So Duke, obviously, Snake Eyes, Storm Shadow, some of those people, Cobra Commander, those are obviously the ones I would never forget. But I forgot about Serpentor. Serpentor Khan, that is. All these other characters, Alpha 001, Zarana, Destro. I do remember a little bit about Destro. I think this is going to be a pretty good read. I'm going to actually continue to read it. I don't have the darkest or the deepest background with G.I. Joe, but I did watch it growing up as animated. That's all. I didn't keep track of it while I was watching it. Transformers was obviously the one. And obviously it was Optimus and Megatron that stuck with me for years. Starscream I had to be reminded of Starscream when the movie came out, and Bumblebee, some of the side main characters, that is. So same with G.I. Joe, I have to be reminded of like Destro, because I'm always thinking about Cobra Commander or Serpentor Khan and these characters right here. So yeah, so it's a pretty good book. I'm nothing I can complain about. It was a fun read. It really was. I was actually surprised by it. I thought I was going to be reading an animated series from the 80s, but I wasn't. All right, so another new read, and it looks like everything this week is going to be from Image Comics. This is called Dutch, and this is issue 0. This is about a guy that was like a part of like I want to say he's a superhero or something. He was some type of vigilante group, maybe. Let me just make sure my brain is working correctly from what I read. He's telling the story. He's just talking and telling you about what he been through, what he had to do, and these enemies that he had to fight, and he believed he got rid of. He got old after a while. He was part of a superhero vigilante type organization that was ran by I want to say they were working side by side. They were like considered half celebrities, but they were considered like uh, they were like celebrity slash vigilante superheroes. That was his past, and he had to play his role and play his part, but he tried to get out of it. And he's still dealing with the past of these enemies. They're like, I want to say they're robotic creatures that he was dealing with. He just basically talking and telling you what he is, what he is now, what he was, and what he dealt with, and how he thinks. And that's pretty much this is pretty much a narrating book. He's just going through um, his backstory, getting you updated, getting you caught up on what he has going on, while it's showing the action of him fighting off one of these creatures. So, am I going to continue to read this? This is written by Joe Casey, Nathan Fox. I'm unfamiliar with them as writers. Um, we'll see. I don't. It does. I am intrigued a little bit by it. Although it's just a bunch of narrating and talking with a little bit of action, it didn't draw me back in with the overall story like 100%. But I am intrigued of where this is going. I think that's the key. Is like, okay, you're telling me this now. I need to see what is this leading to. What is coming up? So, Dutch. Um, I would say go ahead, go for it. If you want something new to read, I'd say go for it. So I took a chance on a random, and it worked out. All right, so this is a series that I have seen the name in the past, Geiger, and this is through Image Comics. Geiger Ground Zero. This is issue one that just came out. Written by Jeff Johns, Gary Frank, and Brad Anderson. Now, when I initially saw the book, I realized that I recognized the names, and that's from Junkyard Joe, which is I read last year. And that was a very good series. And one thing they did a good job with in this game, this book, is keeping the all in one universe. So to me, this tells me that he is going to do cross. He's going to be similar to Mark Millar and probably do some crossovers with his books, making it's all one universe. I can't remember if Junkyard Joe was part of Ghost Machine or not like that. I don't think it is, but there was a lot of references and a lot of cameos to Junkyard Joe. It showed the comic strip that was written by Muddy from the Junkyard Joe book, which is I really enjoyed. It showed pictures in the background of people's houses or whatever of Junkyard Joe the robot. It showed glimpses, images, which tells me that that is like kind of like a what they'll call it a film a Easter egg or whatever. Because I feel like they're planning to do a crossover at some point. So Jeff Johns, he seems to still please me. But anyways, I didn't even get to the story yet. Just wanted to kind of throw it out there. This is a good one. It's about a guy who went through some type of transformation of radiation. But this ain't even the first series. This is like the second volume or something like that. So went through a transformation of radiation, and he had a family, and the story is focused on two different point of views. The actual guy that went through this situation, they built this bunker and this backstory, and his family went down. The neighbors was like, "What the hell?" Like, let us in there. And so it's something going on with this guy where he's incontrollable, but it's controllable, but it's not. And also the government and the I can't think of the group's name, but they're trying to understand the radiation levels, and it spikes and it drops and it spikes. It does a lot of moving around, and they just don't get it. But somehow the guy is able to control or add more radiation power to himself, but still alive. unreal. So, but this is actually a really good read. I'm definitely going to keep reading this. Jeff Johns, you have not disappointed me yet. I'm sure there's other books that I have not read of yours that I will continue to read. So Geiger is definitely on my finish. I want to finish this series right here. And I think I'm going to go backwards because I think there's probably some more of an origin in the past book that get me caught up on, because this is starting at the point after the guy got radiated. So yeah, so Geiger. So, but yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it for the books I read over this weekend. Comic book reviews. I love doing these reviews. I appreciate it. I'll see you on the next one.